You know what? I just reorganized my bookshelves yesterday and they are so aesthetically pleasing to me, or to the best of my abilities. And I just pulled out about 14 books and now I just have to put them all back in the perfect place. Hello, my name is Bella. These are the books for today. We are doing a spring book recommendation video. I hope you do find something good out of this video. We have a range of genres, a range of reasonings for why I chose them, and then I have some that are super popular and some that might not be as popular. First, we're gonna do the books that I have read. The first one is Finley Donovan is Killing It by Elle Cosimano. This book is a cozy mystery. It is about a mom of two. She is a writer and she's pitching her book. Someone overhears and thinks she is a killer for hire. So she gets mixed up in that world and you're following her trying to figure it out and figure out what to do. This is a book of currently a 3-part series, but I highly recommend this no matter what the season is. I think it's perfect for any type of reader in any genre that you usually read. The next book I have is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I'm probably the millionth person to recommend this book to you. It is a great book. It's a great start to the series. And full disclaimer, I have not read the entire series yet. I am on A Court of Wings and Ruin. I am annotating them, so it's taking me a bit longer. And this is one that I genuinely think would be good for this time of year because when she goes to the fairylands, she is in the spring court. So you definitely get some of those spring elements. It's a good starter fantasy. So there is a lot to take in, but it's not hard to process. The last book I have that I have read is House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This is a beautiful, cozy fantasy book. It is the best found family I've ever seen or read about. So I definitely recommend this, again, no matter what time of year. But the cover is beautiful, the story is beautiful. It has great quotes and great morals. So this is definitely a great book to choose. And in the same vein, I have Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. Now I have heard that this one is more beloved than this book. Like I've seen primarily high ratings for both of them. I just think he has amazing plots and storylines and their cozy fantasy. It sounds like a really fleshed out bedtime story. So this book is about a reaper who goes to get Wallace for his own funeral. I have heard it is a little sad, but I'm excited. I'm excited to read it. Next, I have 2 Greek mythology books. Greek mythology in general, I always want to read this time of year, but I try to include the 2 that might be the most agreeable for this season. The first is Wake Siren by Nina McLaughlin. I got this because of the cover. It is beautiful, and I don't think you can tell, but it is like a rough texture. I had no idea what this was about. Someone the other day told me it was a collection of short stories, so I presume it's a collection of like short retellings based around Greek mythology, which sounds right up my alley. I've been really wanting to get into short stories, but I just haven't known which to pick up first, and so I'm glad I indirectly chose. I think I might read this in between other reads and kind of read it a story at a time to really absorb it, and because I'm so excited. And then the other one I have is Daughters of Sparta by Claire Haywood. This says, as princesses of Sparta, they have known nothing but luxury and plenty. But when the weight of their husbands' neglect, cruelty, and ambition becomes too heavy to bear, they must push against the constraints of their society to carve new lives for themselves, and in doing so, make waves that will ripple throughout the next 3,000 years. So this sounds quite good as well. And I like that this is from female's point of view. It definitely adds a different element than what we know. Next, I included this purely because of the cover. Now I know it's a beloved small town romance, and I am excited to read it. But that is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Unpopular opinion, I am not the biggest fan of this cover. I think the flowers are a little cheesy, but I do love the blue, and I love that the books coming out within the series have kind of like one color that they're sticking to. So this is one that sounds really good, and the cover just screams spring. So the next book I have, I got off of a book outlet sale about 6 months ago. I have no idea what it is about. I read the synopsis a few days ago, and both the cover and the synopsis gave me Studio Ghibli vibes. So that book is Popisho by Leon Ross. I know it has to do with magic to some degree, and I just think the cover gives me like mythology, Mother Earth, Moana, Ponyo type of vibes, because you have kind of the abstract person coming out of the water. It looks like he's holding moons. I'm excited to get to this, and I think this is one of, if not the favorite cover that I own. Next, I have a book that I got at Barnes & Noble recently. It was their book club pick of the month. So when I was checking out, the cashier handed it to me and asked me if I wanted it, and I said, of course. It kind of gives me young adult vibes, but I don't know if it is. That is The Magician's Daughter by H.G. Perry. Now with the birds and the flowers and the gold and the green, I think it's perfect for this time of year. The synopsis says, off the coast of Ireland sits a legendary island hidden by magic. Say no more. I do hope to get to this season. Next, I have one that's probably the furthest fetch for recommendation. I have owned it for quite a while though, and it sounds really fun, more like a cozy thriller. I believe it is about a group of housewives that create some sort of society, and then someone turns up dead in the forest, and they're either deciding who it was or one of them is at fault. But that is The Hunting Wives by May Cobb. I've heard mixed reviews about this, but I am excited to read it, and the blue is spectacular. The last two books I have are two Fairy Loot editions from their young adult fantasy box. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure all their books are mythology based. Everyone I've read has come from a different like myth or story. Also, these books are beautiful. So the first one is This Vicious Grace by Emily Theed. Now, after reading the synopsis, I do think it is a high stakes fantasy, so it might not be the perfect one to read at the beach or on a vacation, but the cover, I had to include it. It's this beautiful yellow gold, and the spines have some yellow decorations. The tagline says, 3 weddings, 3 funerals, 1 more chance to save them all. So, sounds very good. And then the last book I have, which is the one I'm probably most excited to get to in the next couple months, is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. I do not know what this is about, besides it has something to do with the sea god. So of course the water element, I think it might be perfect to read at the beach or after coming home from the beach. But this might be one of, if not my favorite cover that I've gotten from Fairy Loot. It has so many colors, and the spine is a beautiful water dragon, I presume. So I'm very excited to get to this. Look, you have like the koi fish. It says, deadly storms, an ancient curse, will or sacrifice save them all. These are all of my books. These are all of my recommendations. They're kind of all over the place, and there's many various reasonings for why I chose them. But I do hope you found something that you like or that you might want to pick up. And hopefully we end up reading something at the same time, and we read something together and that we both love it. So until the next time, I will see you soon. Bye. Happy BookTube!